All right, it looks like everybody is navigating into the room, so we'll go ahead and get started. So good evening. I'm here tonight to walk through the Southwest Middle and discuss how it may impact you and your community. Is there any questions at this time before we get started, or I can go ahead and jump in? Okay, I'll go ahead and jump in. So the reason for developing the community area plans is that Charlotte has been continuously growing for a decade or for decades and is projected to keep growing. In response to the projected growth, our city adopted the Charlotte Future 2040 Comprehensive Plan in 2021, which defines our 20-year vision for growth and change in Charlotte. The plan essentially calls for future growth to benefit as many people as possible. While the comprehensive plan provides the broad vision for our community, there are other levels of guidance needed to make our vision come to life. This is the planning framework adopted within the comprehensive plan, and it identifies subsequent levels of guidance needed. Level 2 strategic plans are citywide documents that provide more details than the comprehensive plan on a particular topic. For example, the Strategic Mobility Plan provides more guidance on how to realize Goal 5, creating safe and equitable mobility choices. Level 3, which are the Community Area Plans, which provide more guidance for the appropriate land uses, building form, and infrastructure needed throughout the plan's geography. Level 4 is the Specific Plans, which focus on smaller geographies and provide more guidance for the implementation of specific projects. And it's important to note that levels 2 through 4 all build upon the vision and goals outlined in the comprehensive plan. So the community area plans are essentially about creating complete communities, which means creating places that integrate housing, job opportunities, and daily goods in an accessible manner. In other words, live, work, and play in the environment you live in. The community area plans were developed with a 5-phase process that occurred over 2 years. Staff has offered multiple engagement opportunities in each phase, and the outcomes of each phase have been shared along the way, which you can see on our screen here. This slide summarizes the engagement efforts from phase 1 through phase 4 of the effort. We've reached over 400,000 residents, both online and in person, using a range of constant and coordinated tactics. This includes tactics such as social media posts, our website, and all interactive content that we produce, such as story maps and videos. While virtual interactions are great, we still really value in-person interactions, and we're able to interact with 6,000 people from phase 1 through phase 4. For this planning effort, we hosted 50 workshops in which we asked residents to join us, but we also made an effort to meet people where they were by attending other meetings, festivals, and libraries. You can see the geographic dispersion of our in-person interactions on the map to the right. Throughout phase 1 and 4, we received 1,700 comments that helped shape the draft plans. And I'd like to mention that all of this engagement builds upon the feedback received through the 500,000 interactions during the comprehensive plan development and the 6,000 interactions with the policy map. Plans developed using systematic processes means that they're developed in the same way and will have the same components and format within them. While plans developed systematically, each plan has a unique content that reflects the individual character of that geography, as well as new common policy guidance that helps to achieve our vision. These plans provide common sets of consideration for all decision makers to ensure that we're consistently evaluating options in line with the city's vision. Over time, these considerations will help ensure that growth is accommodated in a way that respects established neighborhoods, aligns growth with our infrastructure capacity, and creates vibrant mixed-use centers for all. This is the table of contents within the Southwest Middle um, Community Area Plan. If you look at the other plans, you'll see it's the same contents and organized as mentioned on the same slide, or as mentioned on the last slide. So I'm going to keep this up for tracking purposes. So you'll see this on your the left-hand side of the screen. So the next chapter outlines the geography's greatest needs and prioritized goals. Needs are focused on increasing access to housing choices, job opportunity, daily goods and services, and reducing environmental impacts. The plans focused on these four needs because these are the metrics identified in the comprehensive plan as paramount for ensuring future growth benefits as many people as possible. The 10 comprehensive plan goals were linked to these four metrics, and if a metric scored less than 5, the associated goals were identified as priorities for the geography. All goals are important, but this prioritized list will help to prioritize limited dollars and resources. Chapter 4 focuses on the recommended development pattern for geography via the 2040 policy map. The colors in the map relate to the types and intensities that are appropriate in the area. To learn more about the colors, see the place type descriptions in the appendix. It's important the plans recommend a large portion of the geography to remain as is. So meaning if redevelopment occurs in these areas, then the new development should match the scale and intensity of the development on the ground. The plan recommends 37% to evolve into a different type of development than what exists today. An example of anticipated change is a commercial evolving into an activity center. Commercial place types are characterized by car-oriented destinations for retail, dining, or service uses, typically within low-rise buildings that are located along major streets or intersections. An example of this would be Wilkinson Boulevard, as shown on page 21. This could evolve into a community activity center, which is characterized by a mix of uses, so residential, employment, shopping, leisure, and entertainment. These uses are set within the mid-rise buildings in a pedestrian-oriented environment. This place type change would add a greater mix of uses and density to the recommended area. This change will help to accommodate our projected growth in a way that respects neighborhoods, pairs growth with infrastructure capacity, and creates mixed-use centers which help to increase access across Charlotte. Other pages in Chapter 4 explain how recommended change helps advance the geography's priority goals and assesses their greatest needs. Chapter 5, Supporting the Vision. This includes 5 sections and references the Neighborhood Toolkit. The Neighborhood Toolkit is included within the appendix because it is a reference for all geographies. The toolkit catalogs all great programs that are currently available to residents to help address their needs. The intent is that it's a resource to empower neighborhoods who want to take action. An example of this is outlining existing programs that help neighborhoods to tap into amenitizing a common open space and creating a neighborhood park. The mobility section was developed in coordination with CDOT, CATS, and CRTPO. It restates Goal 5, safe and equitable mobility, is important across Charlotte. It includes a clip of the citywide streets map, which outlines future cross-sections for arterial streets in Charlotte. And this section summarizes the citywide strategic mobility plan and highlights the strategic investment areas within the geography. Next, the mobility section includes a new level of guidance called the mobility assessment. This assessment evaluates how well our future mixed-use places are meeting our aspirations, and that's as outlined in the place type descriptions. These assessments should be used by all stakeholders, residents, developers, and city officials to inform future development and infrastructure projects within these areas. For example, if a developer wants to rezone a site within one of these mixed use locations, they should use this assessment to propose a project that improves conditions. Similarly, community members can evaluate a proposed project against this assessment to determine if the project contributes to the area aspirations. The open space and community character chapters include similar assessments because open space and character are important components of the place type aspirations. For the sake of time, I won't share those slides, but I'm happy to navigate to them on the online documents if anybody has any questions or if we want to look at them together. This section, Environmental Justice and Sustainability, builds upon the comprehensive plan's vision to reduce environmental impacts across Charlotte. This section provides more detailed analysis of environmental impacts within the plan's geography area, and it also introduces the heat impacts as a new environmental metric that should be considered in future decision making. Plans are implemented in multiple ways. The private and public sectors both have a role to play. Plans may be implemented through private development, private-public partnership, capital investments, and rezonings. Community area plans are an important component of Charlotte's planning framework, but they only have one tool in our toolbox, or that they are only one tool that is in our toolbox. We also have specific plans in our toolbox, which focus on smaller geographies and more implementation focused. We have the ability to develop this guidance if and when needed across the city. Planning is cylindrical. We plan to monitor and update the recent plans every 8 to 10 years. So the next steps for the community area process is that the comment period ends this Friday, July 18th. The following Friday, the Friday, July 25th, comments and staff responses will be posted on the project website. On Monday, August 4th, there will be a committee presentation at the Transportation Planning and Development Committee meeting, and the council decision is currently TBD. I'm happy to answer any questions or accept any comments relating to this, and once again, invite you to review these plans and details and provide any comments by July 18th. Does anybody have any comments, questions?
Hi, yes, this is Alvin Stinnett. Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, great. Yes. Um, I know your plans are actually at hand where I could actually go online and take a look to see what's going on. I'm living in District 3, and they're talking about the light rail uh, plan. Um, I was trying to figure the area if it's actually something that's in the 2040 map as well.
Map is going to be future land use, and so that's going to be
Oh,
specific to the different place types. And I'll pull up the map as an example. So this is an example
mhm.
here of what that future land use map looks like. So we're getting a little bit more broad. So neighborhood 1 and neighborhood 2 are typically more residential, and then it kind of goes through those with the different descriptions, which you can find in the appendices. So it's not going to have the specific light rail or any really transportation data on that particular map. Um, but there is the mobility section, and there is the mobility assessment that is a part of this. And
Mhm.
I believe that CDOT. and CRTPO and CATS all have worked together on this, and I'd be happy to get you a more specific answer to your question about the light rail in this area that's being
Mhm.
proposed. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes. Just
I think one of the things we're doing is adding as part of there's changes that we already have listed on the website that we're making, and one of them was to add the um, future alignments. But those plans are still fairly early in the process. I think the
mm.
um, Silver Line is like at something like
Yeah,
30%
the silver line.
engineering.
That's
The
it.
red
Yeah.
line, yeah, it's very early in the stages of engineering, so the alignment probably more than likely not the alignment, more than likely any changes would be to the stations, but
Okay.
we would show where it is today, and then as Abby said, we can get you more information through the CAPS website if you like that as well.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Did anybody else have any questions or comments at this time? If nobody has any other questions or comments, I just want to reiterate that the deadline to provide comments will be this Friday, July 18th. And you're welcome to move to any other breakout rooms in case you'd like to listen in on any other conversation.
Okay. Friday, July 18th. Thanks. You have a time frame on the 18th? Time?
I
Not as that.
don't believe that there's a specific time on the Friday the 18th. Kathy, do you know if there's a time cutoff for that?
Probably, I would say if you get it in by midnight, you'd be good.
Okay.
And if I can, I'll paste in the chat that proposed changes table that I was mentioning earlier. Let's see if this will work. Yeah. And then if I can, I'll put the CATS link to the Silver Line page in there too. Just give me a second.
Thank you, Kathy.
The TPD. Okay. Got it. Thanks. Mm. So, Abby, one last question. Uh, August 4th, the TPD having a presentation. Um, it's an online presentation or is it walk in?
So that streamed on the City of Charlotte's YouTube. So you're able to watch it live
Okay.
from anywhere. And you can definitely watch the presentation that way, or you can watch it as well if you're unable to watch it live. It will be on the YouTube page as well as a saved video.
Oh, okay. On YouTube. Thanks. All
Mhm.
right.
Of course.
I'll just thanks.
Hi, welcome to our breakout room. I'm happy to go back through the presentation, or if you had any specific comments or questions, I'd be happy to answer those. I'll go ahead and put in the chat for you as well the link to the website for the Transportation Planning and Development Committee.
Okay.
And I'll also see if I can get you a link directly to the YouTube so you can watch that back.
Awesome. Thanks.
Of
Thanks.
course.
Thanks for checking on that before I asked. I had it in mind. And thanks for your help with the information. I have other tasks that I actually have on this end, so I'll be leaving the room pretty soon. Thanks for your
Of
information.
course. Your calendar and it has the link to the YouTubes. But if you have any other questions or comments, like I said, comment period ends July 18th. But I appreciate you coming out tonight and I hope you have a great evening.
Great. Thank you very much. I got the link. I appreciate it. Thanks. I got both of them. Thank you. All right. Here we go. So, thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You too.